Hi, welcome. My name is Mike Elder, and this is the Box Angeles podcast. It's no accident that you ended up here. This is a very important podcast for you to listen to as an actor, a creative, or just a fan of me. Thank you for listening. This is a strange introduction, and I love it. But it's a different show, so why not do a little different introduction? You know what I'm saying? I'll get to the show in a second, but first, please go to the YouTube channel. Click subscribe. I got a ton of videos up there, a ton of great stories, tidbits, advice, insights from a ton of writers, actors, directors. I got full video interviews of all my recent episodes up there, including this one. Please go to my YouTube channel and click subscribe. Also, if you just generally want to support the show, I have a Patreon. Go over there. You get to see who's upcoming on the podcast before anyone else gets to see and hear. So you know who's upcoming. You can submit questions. I'll ask them. Really good stuff on my Patreon, and I'm hoping to do more. As I said, this is a different episode. This is a unique episode, something we haven't done before. I interviewed two different people in one podcast. I guess I did that live at the 300th episode, but never on the couch. So this week I chatted with Robert Ulrich, casting director extraordinary, who was on the podcast a few months ago. His office, UDK, has done so many big shows. You know him from like Glee and The Boys. If you didn't listen to that episode, go back and listen to that one. But also Christine Russell, who's a producer. She produced Broadway shows like Beautiful, The Carole King Story, and Head Over Heels. Why were they both here? To promote their new show, The Civility of Albert Cashier, at the Colony Theater in Burbank. Previews start August 31st. The show starts September 7th. It's a short run, only 4 weeks, so they wanted to come and promote it, tell about the story, talk about the show, the importance of it, how relevant it is today, how beautiful the music is, how exciting the choreography is, how excited they are. Robert was just... his heart was palpitating. He was so excited. I could see it in his eyes and in his mood. He was vibrant. So I think this is a really good conversation about a really cool show. Again, coming to Burbank this week. Get your tickets now. The Civility of Albert Cashier. I'm excited to see it just because these two were so excited to talk about it. So different episode. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you enjoy this. Otherwise, without further ado, I give you
Christine Russell.
Hi, Christine.
Hi.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
It's a pleasure to meet you,
Thank
too,
you for
Mike.
coming on down. I was reading about you. I realized you and Robert wanted to come by and promote your show, and we can get to that in 1 second. But
Sure.
I was looking you up. You're like, you have your hand in many different things. You're kind of a Renaissance woman, I feel like. You produce Broadway shows. You're a talent agent, too, and you have like a music company. What's going on? Save some for the rest of us.
Yeah, I've had a composer agency. I represent composers that do film and TV music, music supervisors, music editors, and, been doing that a long time, like 20 years now.
That's insane.
Yeah.
How fun is that?
It's been awesome. It's really fun.
That's really weird. Like, so, not weird, but I've never thought of like somebody repping composers, and that's so cool that you do that.
Yeah, it's like a little niche, They're only like, a handful of agencies that actually just represent composers.
Yeah.
So yeah, not many of us out there, but
that's so
enough
cool
to make a living at it. So it's been good.
Did you study music, or did this something you fell into?
Yeah, I was a singer-songwriter like a million years ago, and
a million
years ago feels like that. But yeah, I was a singer-songwriter and did that for a while. Had a couple record deals, and then I just very naturally transitioned into representing people. I was always somebody that was connecting people.
Yeah.
I would hear about something. I would hear about a movie that was looking for an end title, and I would call my friends and go, "Oh, yeah, you would be perfect for this."
Oh, very cool.
And so, it was a very natural, my agency just sort of grew out of my own interest in helping people. And then I started producing musicals because one of my very first clients was a very well-known lyricist named Jerry Goffin, who was the husband and ex-husband and writing partner of Carole King.
Wow.
So
that's so cool. It's so funny. I've interviewed a lot of, agents and stuff, and a lot of them were actors, and then they just kind of fell into that other side of it. And it sounds like that's similar to you. You knew all these people already since you were in the business.
Yeah.
So it just made sense for you to sort of step over there and do that.
Yeah.
Real quick, who's the best composer of all time? Do you have a take?
Oh, I could never answer that question.
Really? Most would say John Williams, but I'm kind of a Hans Zimmer man myself.
Yeah, well, they're both amazing. I'll probably tout one of my own clients, Abel Korzeniowski, who I think is absolutely brilliant.
I love that. What's his name?
Abel Korzeniowski.
That's a hell of a name.
Yeah.
That's a mouthful. I love it.
Yeah, when years down the road, people are going to look back and go, that guy.
That's the GOAT right
that
there.
guy right there.
I love that. Well, talk to me about this play you're producing, The Civility of Albert Cashier at the Colony Theater in Burbank. Why this play? Why now? Talk to me. Like, what you haven't, the last thing you produced was on Broadway a few years ago, right?
Yeah, I did a show called Head Over Heels. So my first show was Beautiful, the Carole King musical. I was the executive producer on that. And then I was a lead producer on Head Over Heels.
Okay.
So I had one show that ran 6 years and another show that ran 6 months.
That's Broadway, baby.
There you go. But we opened, and this sort of group of people walked up to me at the opening of Head Over Heels and said, we have a project that we think you might really like.
They approached you at the
they
show.
Approached me at
cool.
Like on opening night of
the
Head
balls
Over
on
Heels.
them. I like
right?
that.
Yeah, like let's go now. She's there.
I ask people to do my podcast, and I refuse to do it in person because I feel like it makes them so awkward and uncomfortable. But I like that they went for it.
Yeah, they totally went for it, and I was like, I don't even know which way is up right now, but okay, let me listen.
Yeah.
So they send me this link, and I listened to the music, and I remember I was in this cab, I was going home, and I was like, the last thing I wanted to do in that moment was get involved with another show. I was exhausted. And
it's a lot of work.
It's a tremendous amount of work. So, and then I'm listening to the music, and then I'm like, oh, shit, this is good.
Yeah. Did they give you like a CD or something?
No, they sent me a link.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't that far back.
Yeah. Well, no, I just meant like, when you're like walking down Venice or in Times Square and they're just like handing out CDs. I didn't know if that it was old school style.
That's
like
hilarious. That's really funny. If they had handed me a CD at opening night, that would have been genius. I would love that. No, they sent me this link, and it was just like undeniably fantastic. Yeah. It was so good. The music was just, oh my God. And then I read the story, and I watched, they had done a production of it in Chicago.
Okay.
So I watched that and just was super moved by the story. So the story is, Albert Cashier voluntarily enlists in the Civil War as Albert.
Yeah.
But was born, was assigned female at birth.
Yeah.
He was kind of a badass soldier.
Sure.
And saved a lot of lives. And at the end of the war, he lived out his life as a man. And at the end of his life, he started to get some dementia. He had an accident. He ends up in a sailors' and soldiers' home where his secret's discovered. And they take him to court. And they try to take his pension away, all his honors, basically saying you stole money from the government under false pretenses.
Interesting.
And they, this is a true story. 1916, they have this trial, and all of these soldiers.
1916, so he was very old at that point.
Yeah, he was old. And so one by one, these soldiers come up and they stand up and say, I don't see anyone other than Albert Cashier in that man's life. Yeah. I mean, it's just, it's
relevant
really,
for sure. All the promotional materials is like, this is very relevant. I'm like, is it really relevant?
Is it really relevant?
But, wow, that's fascinating.
Yeah. No, it's really amazing. I mean, I think, the message of these soldiers and the brotherhood of when you're on that field, it transcends gender, it transcends color, it transcends sexuality, it transcends religious denomination. It's like you either have my back or you don't. And it's a beautiful story in that when people come from all walks of life and they treat people with decency and dignity and humanity, they find common ground. And I think in a moment like right now, with such a divided country and world, we have to tell stories that actually remind us that we're capable of doing that.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm really excited about sharing this story. Not only is it just a fantastic musical, it's important for the time.
Yeah, I love that. Part of my naivete, was this a really like well-known court case? Or is this sort of something that was recently rediscovered, and they wanted to
I don't
highlight
know
it.
that for sure. I know that there had been books that had been written about Albert. He lived his life out in Sonneman, Illinois. I think people from Illinois kind of know this story, and the book writer that wrote this show is from there, and so he became aware of Albert's story and really wanted to write. It started as a play first, and then it turned into a musical.
Oh, cool.
So when I talk about it, there are many people that go, I have no idea who the person is. So I'm not sure how widespread it is. Hopefully with the musical, it'll become more widespread.
Yeah. How long did it take you to get it up then? I'm just curious because as we alluded to, producing is so much work. I produce a sketch with my friends and it feels like it takes months, you know what I mean? So I can't even imagine something with this lift.
It's such a journey. I mean, they did it in 2018. It won the Jeff Award for Best New Musical in Chicago.
Jeff? Who's Jeff? Jeff's just giving out. I should do that. I should do the Mike Awards and just give out awards named the Mike.
I think you should. From there, I got involved with it. We did a reading of it in 2019.
Okay. Oh, wow. 5 years ago. This is
2019, we did a reading in New York. And then after that, we had the shutdown. So basically, we were kind of dead in the water at that point. We worked on it through COVID. We worked on the book. We then did another reading about a year and a half ago.
So did you punched it up from the Chicago version?
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. We worked. I mean, every time you do it, you're like, oh, that's working. That's not working. You're just constantly iterating.
Yeah, I love that.
But yeah, I mean, we did 2 more readings, and then the Colony, stepped up and said, we have a moment where we think we'd love to help develop this with you, and let's do a run.
Yeah, it's crazy to think about 5 years ago, even this is more relevant now 5 years later than when you thought it was relevant when you first took it on. Isn't that funny?
I always think, things happen as they should.
Yeah.
And I really do believe that everything finds its way when it's supposed to find its way. And you're absolutely right. It's way more relevant right now.
Can I ask why, if it's so much work, are you only doing a 4-week run? Is the hope to go to get a show demand and then get it to Broadway, I assume?
Yeah, the hope is to continue to grow it. I think whenever you're doing something that isn't an IP already that people know, it's not a movie.
Right.
People don't know this story. They have no idea who this is. And I really do think that you have to sort of grow it naturally and let people become aware of it. And it's like an educating process.
Yeah.
So I hope to do it here. I hope then maybe to do it, perhaps at a larger theater regionally. Here, maybe go back to Chicago, kind of move it around. It's sort of a Dear Evan Hansen model.
Yeah. Were the same actors in the Chicago version the ones you have this, or did you? Okay,
some of them, yeah. A few of them carried over.
And you mentioned the 2 leads of Albert Cashier are both very.
Yeah, they're both trans actors.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I was going to say very talented. You were talking about, before we started this about how talented
and they're very talented.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they're amazing. They're absolutely amazing. And Sid's story I was mentioning before we started. Sid
plays the younger or the older?
Sid plays the older Al.
Okay.
Just an incredible story. Sid was lived as a woman for many, many years, was a singer, backup singer for Elton John, friends with Billie Jean King, friends with all of these artists, just traveling around the world and living the life as a singer songwriter, and married, had 2 kids, became a grandparent, and then decided to transition.
Oh wow!
And just wrote a book last year about his life, and he is magical in this role because you really feel his journey connected to Albert's journey.
Yeah.
And he just breaks your heart.
How did you sync up with Robert?
Robert was very friendly with the book writer And the book writer is also a co-producer, is my producing partner on this as well.
Yeah.
So Robert and J. Paul Diratani were very close, and Robert's been involved with the project from day one. Casting, doing an amazing job with casting this show. And actually found Danny Shea, who plays young Albert, who is just an enormous talent and just an incredible find.
I love that. What do you really think about Robert, though?
Yeah.
As Robert just walked in. That's so exciting. Well, I'm really excited to see this play, and thank you or this musical. Sorry, I used to do a musical night. By the way, I did like 3 of them. My friends came over, ordered some pizza, and watched Evita one night.
Oh my! Well, I hope you'll have the opportunity to do this with.
But
Albert.
hopefully, I'll get them to come to this. It starts. I'm going to talk to Robert in a second, but preview starts the 31st, right?
It starts we do 4 previews starting August 31st, and our opening night is September 7th, and then we'll run through September 22nd.
Amazing.
So
thank you, Christine. This was your first podcast. How was it?
I was awesome.
We'll have to have you back to do a proper, full-on version, but this us nice to meet you.
Thanks so much. Nice to meet you too, Mike.
You can tail slate the end, I guess.
What does that even mean? I don't know what that means.
It's us actors. The casting directors make us do this. They say your name at the end so they can remember who we are as if we're forgettable.
Christine Russell.
That's great. And now I give you...
My name is Robert Ulrich.
Robert, you came back to me so quick. It's nice to see you.
After my last podcast, which my vanity, it was the worst I've ever looked in my life, but people from my past reached out to me. People really listen to your podcast.
Wait. Why was your vanity so bad? What are you talking about?
Because I hated the way I looked, but that's just me.
Oh, wow. Robert,
but anyway,
you are a stunning, beautiful person inside and out.
But people reached out. People that aren't necessarily in the business, reached out.
You know what's so funny about that? I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of people watch the social media clips I put up. Like, the clips do so much better than the audio itself.
Yes.
And you and Jeff Greenberg did it right after you. And both you guys, your clips did really well on social media.
Good.
I think actors are hankering for more casting insight and knowledge.
I agree with that. I think that it's such a strange time that everybody just wants to connect in some way.
Yeah. Well, it's so slow, and people want to know that you guys are working and still care about us and love us. And aren't forgetting about us.
I know. It's true.
No, I had an audition this week, though. So
you did?
Yeah.
For what?
I can't tell you.
Oh, you can't tell you.
I'll tell you after.
Yeah. That's stupid of me to ask, actually.
Well, are you trying to incriminate me and get me fired?
No.
Robert, well, you reached out to talk about the play you're producing, which I just talked to Christine.
Yes.
Musical you're producing. Well, I'm an idiot.
Musical play.
But as she told me, it started as a play and then it became a musical, which is really cool. Why did you get involved with this Albert Cashier?
I don't remember, honestly. Well, I was casting a movie called Foster Boy for Jay Diratani, and Jay wrote Foster Boy, the movie, which it's a great movie if you watch it on streaming. It has Matthew Modine, Shane Paul McGee, who's incredible, and it's about the foster care system, the corruption of it. And I was casting that for Jay, and he was working on this musical, and they were doing a reading at the LGBTQ Center, and I said, I'll help cast it. So I cast that, and that's how I initially got involved, and then I just became obsessed with it. It is so beautiful. I can't even tell you. I mean, Jay, the writer, is an incredible writer, and the scenes are touching one minute and then hilarious the next minute, and it's just, the show is so full of humor and hope and poignancy, and I come away weeping every rehearsal.
Oh man, I love that.
It's. I don't remember being this moved by anything for a long time.
Wow. I love that. I love things that I don't like things that are just drama and sad
this
and
has so much
crying.
humor.
And when you say it's got humor, I'm like, yes, I love that. You got to cut that emotion a little bit with some of that.
Jay did an incredible job with that.
That's so great. So how long have you been working on this then?
Oh, well.
Christine mentioned 2019 she started.
Yeah, I started in 2017, I believe.
Oh my God.
Yeah, a long time. And there's been many iterations. And there was a production in Chicago, which was wonderful. But this is the first equity mounting of the play, of the musical.
So cool.
At the Colony, which is, I don't know if you've ever been there, but it
is
a beautiful theater, and it's run by Heather Provost, and it's so intimate but beautiful. And the design team we have is great. And I'm just raving because I'm so excited. But the like the sets and costumes and lighting, everything's just beautiful. The band is incredible. And the director, Richard Israel, I did not know him, but I guess he's very well known in Los Angeles theater. And obviously most of my experiences in film and television. He is so talented. I keep telling him he's a genius. His pictures he paints and all that are just stunning, but his nuanced direction, and I just think he's great. So and I'll say something about the music. The music written by Joe Stevens and Keaton Wooden is the best score. I cannot tell you. And I'm a musical theater history buff. And in the olden days, in the dark ages, my time, you'd walk out of Lerner and Loewe, Rodgers and Hammerstein, and you would immediately begin singing the music.
Yeah.
And I love all the new musicals, but I mean, other than Hamilton, which was like that, where you walk out and you're immediately singing the music, I can't remember many that is like that. And that's what this is. This music just sticks with you. It is so fun and, again, very beautiful, and it's just so well written.
Your excitement is like palpable. Like I can see how excited
I'm the
you
most
are.
excited. I'm bursting with excitement, and it's not to say. I mean, I don't want to not plug. I have The Perfect Couple at Netflix airing on September 5th, which is with Nicole Kidman and Liev Schreiber. That is one of the casts I'm the most proud of my entire career. You
can't promote everything in one podcast.
I just don't want people to think that I'm not into my other shows. I am, but I am so passionate about this.
Yeah.
And it's different because I'm producing it too.
Well, I was just going to ask you that. Do you like producing? Are you trying to produce more?
Very much so. I started a production company in about 2017 as well called Stay Relevant Productions. And we've produced 3 movies which have sold, but never theater.
Yeah.
Know? So, and I started in theater. So this is back to my roots. And my wife just said to me the other day, you're going to your happy place. I go to these rehearsals and I just love it.
That's so great. I love that too. But the producing side of it is that interesting to me. Like Christine mentioned you cast this too. Did you cast a lot of these roles? So is that like tricky for you to do both at the same time? I feel like both are full-time jobs.
They are. But it's not. No, I casting. I mean, obviously I love casting, and, but I've been doing it I've been doing it a long time. So it was nice to do something else as well.
Right, for sure.
At this point in my life.
Well, real quick, Christine mentioned why she thinks this show is so relevant right now. Do you want to share your reasonings why you think the show is so relevant?
I think I'll let Christine explain that, but I don't want to get political. 100% I don't want to get political, but I do believe that
he proceeds to get political.
I do get political, exactly. That there's never been a time where people just need to be accepted and loved.
Yeah.
And that's what this show is all about. It's about the rights for one are the rights for all. And it is, yes. So I think could not be more relevant. Oh, I want to mention the choreographer too, Hayden Frederick. The choreography is so cool because it's a period piece.
Yeah.
The director's vision has been to make it timeless, I'm sure because of the political climate and all. And the choreography is that too. It's rooted in the period, but it feels timeless.
Oh, that's crazy. That's something I would never even think about. Rooting the choreography in the time. That's you just blew my mind a little bit.
No, they explained the first rehearsal how
people walk differently back then.
Well, exactly. They were saying
so
that.
weird.
I don't want to quote them wrong, but it was like, Hayden said that the polka was around during that period. We're not doing that. The waltz was around during that period. We're not doing that. There was a lot of tribal Native American dances which were incorporated into the period. But no, it's just a great show. And if you are a history buff, it's also so interesting. I mean, I had never heard of Albert Cashier. If you go to the internet, Albert Cashier's all over the internet.
Oh, is he?
And considering that Albert could never read or write.
Oh, interesting.
There is so much written about him.
Oh, cool. That's cool.
So much. I mean, and the characters in the musical, many of them are real characters, many of them. So for somebody like me who is a history buff and particularly drawn to that period of time, I find it just riveting from that standpoint.
Let me ask you a stupid question. Did you send Lin-Manuel Miranda a free ticket?
No, but Christine, who is very, very fancy. She's very well known and big in the Broadway community. She produced Head Over Heels and Beautiful, and is just, you know, an incredible producer and an incredible person. She has reached out, as have I, to many, many, many celebrities and many important people in the business,
including me,
including you, and I wouldn't be surprised if she reached out to Lin-Manuel. But no, she has reached out to many people.
I love that. The previews start August 31st.
August 31st.
Next weekend.
This comes. The first performance is September 7th, and it closes September 22nd. And if anyone comes, please look for me, because I'll be buzzing around, and come say hi. I want to know what you think about it.
I love how excited you are. I wish you were this excited about your other shows, like The Boys.
I am. I'm just as excited about The Boys. I'm also casting 2 new roles for The Boys right now, and I am exhausted.
Comic book roles?
Were they
like big lead characters? You mean?
Well, lead characters, but
wow.
But
is this a teaser? Give me.
Well, I can't. You know, suddenly I'm realizing I'm saying too much, so I'm not going to say anything else. But I'm busy. I am so busy.
How many buttholes get blown up in this season?
I'm sure many. I know The Boys is just so good. I mean,
it is fun.
I am so grateful to Eric Kripke and to Gail Berman for The Perfect Couple. I'm very blessed and excited about all my shows, and
as you should be,
just promoting what I'm producing. That's the thing.
I love it. I'm just giving you grief, but it's really cool to see how like excited you are. You're more energized than you were on the last podcast.
Well,
you're just
I am
Cloud
very
9 right
energized. I absolutely love this, and I'm so proud of it and everyone involved, and I'm so proud of the cast. I mean, it's just. They are amazing.
Love that. Everyone's going to go see it. So,
please.
It'll be sold out for sure.
I hope.
Robert, this is a pleasure. Great to see you again,
Mike,
buddy.
So much for doing this. Thank you.
Tail Slate.
Robert J. Ulrich.
Perfect.